Fortnite banned these emotes and everyone is losing it. A lot of people are saying Epic are too picky, so I looked into it and found 20 updates never coming to Fortnite. For example, one of the most requested collabs of all time, Power Rangers, when a few months ago, it was confirmed it was arriving, or so we thought. The same people who leaked Doomslayer and TMNT mentioned it was in the works, and the community went crazy. YouTubers started posting about it, and this thumbnail happened to include a character named Crimson Hawk. It's literally Ryu as a Power Ranger, and the creator of this outfit saw the art thinking it was real. He posted it to his story claiming it was officially coming to Fortnite, and we took it as confirmation, only for the whole thing to be a huge misunderstanding. The sure Power Rangers may come to the game one day, but Crimson Hawk, let's take it back to Street Fighter, buddy. That's not the only time fans were devastated over a dream collab. The Greek season was leaked early, dropping details on the mythics, some battle pass skins, even the crossovers. Everything came true except for a major leak that promised Persona was coming to Fortnite. Persona is a massive series, and the third game just got a remake, leading fans to believe that all of this was perfect timing. Little did we know, it was a lie. The leaker sprinkled real info within a fake post, so we couldn't tell what was true. He went way too far, claiming there would be a Poseidon boss in Season 2. He was set to be located at an Atlantis POI, and you could defeat him for a mythic trident, but that's not all. We also were meant to fight Medusa with her dark energy mythic. Apparently, she would have a shockwave blast that sent you flying, but as we know, this is nowhere to be found in Season 2, we only have the skins. Okay, maybe he was telling the truth and they were real items that got scrapped at the last minute. However, this was just a taste of the fake rumors. Players were also trolled by a Final Fantasy VII teaser and a supposed Aquaman crossover, but even those turned out to be a lie. And thanks so much to Honkai Impact 3rd for sponsoring this video, which is available on PC, mobile, PlayStation, and now Mac OS. The game is officially launching on the Mac App Store and runs flawlessly with the M series, supporting full screen resolution, 120Hz refresh rate, and even the brand new air battle and 3D combat system. That's right, you can now freely jump around the battlefield, allowing for more gameplay dynamics and the ability to take out monsters mid-air. If you didn't know, Honkai Impact 3rd is a 3D action RPG set in space made by the same creators as Genshin Impact. Part 2 will take place on Mars with new characters, stories, and a whole lot more. In this version, players can obtain the Hersher of Origin, Raiden Mei's S-Rank battlesuit for completely free. For fans of Acheron and Raiden Shogun, there is no better time to join the game. The new S-Rank Thelema is available now, and you can get 50% off her first 10 pulls. It is super unique during combat, turning her into a strong ice DPS that wields a thread and needle. Let me tell ya, this looks so cool while fighting. This update continues to add fresh character models, refined animations, and even cosmetic details like Fuwa's new outfit that shows built-in scene effects. Honkai Impact 3rd is available now on these platforms. Use my code BanquetRose to get more free items, but now let's get back to the video. I have to admit though, the entire internet was fooled by this next update, including us. A year ago, leakers started to post exclusive rumors. Usually we would take these with a grain of salt, but when the collab turned out to be Doctor Who, fans were way too excited to care. Apparently we were getting a 2-week-long event full of cosmetics, but at this point it was just speculation, sorta. That's when an image dropped of a work-in-progress battle pass showing a Star Cruiser glider, backbling, and even an emote. As the months progressed, the leaks kept coming, and we were just eating them up. We learned there would be 2 outfits, one based on David Tennant and the other on Shuti Gadwa. But this rabbit hole kept going deeper. I mean, it was starting to become the most leaked collab in history. That's when we got concept art of pickaxes and a mythic unit advance rifle. This event was scheduled to release in December, going perfectly with the 60th anniversary of the show. But as we got closer to the date, there was still zero announcement. Despite that, leakers are posting images of the actual skins, showing full 3D models of the 15th Doctor. It was clearly an early build, but a good sign that the crossover was full steam ahead, and then radio silence. We got to December, and the anniversary came and went, with everyone left scratching their heads. So we demanded answers. Was it delayed? Did the network change their mind? Maybe they couldn't get David Tennant's face. So many possibilities. That's when fans asked the showrunner of Doctor Who for answers, and he blew everyone's mind with the simple reply: there isn't one, it is a complete myth, I'm afraid. That is the last thing we expected. Most people agreed the collab was official, but this whole time, it was one big hoax. We're more desperate to see the biggest horror game in the world. Back in Chapter 2, they were dropping a lot of collabs, and Epic would tease them in real life. This list was sent to creators with supplies, including arcade tokens. Fans had no idea what this meant until a skin appeared in the files, codenamed French Fry, and while we couldn't see it, we could hear their footsteps. Immediately, people started to connect the dots. These sounded exactly like Foxy from Five Nights at Freddy's, the iconic footsteps as he runs down the corridor. Not only that, but tokens were the perfect teaser. Freddy's Pizzeria's from the 80s, and a ton of the minigames are set on arcade machines. Lastly, we had the codename French Fry, FF Freddy Fazbear. Yeah, I know, looking back, we were definitely wearing some huge tinfoil hats, because Scott Cawthorne, the creator of FNAF, had to go on Reddit and tell everyone, no collabs for now, including Fortnite or Fall Guys. Turns out the tokens were for Street Fighter and French Fry. Well, that was actually an early version of Peter Griffin. I mean, who would have seen that coming? One of the strangest updates was ready to drop at any moment when out of nowhere, it mysteriously vanished. Before Rocket Racing's debut, fans noticed a Formula 1 set in the file, showing an F1 car emote along with a llama racing trophy. Fortnite accidentally put this in the update for Big Bang, leaking 10 outfits with almost a dozen styles. You could customize these racers with your favorite Formula 1 team, whether it was Ferrari, Mercedes, even Aston Martin. These were done and ready to release. I mean, we already got Lewis Hamilton, so this was surely gonna drop, right? Well, we watched as Rocket Racing came out, ignoring any chance of a collab, and then the files disappeared, never to be seen again. Just like a PowerPoint slide that broke the internet. In 2022, leakers across the community were all sent the same info. An insider claimed to have knowledge of a collab with Dead by Daylight. Apparently, they were proposing it to each other, and one of the ideas was a Llama Charmin DBD, while Fortnite would add a Meg Thomas skin. Since this dropped, almost 2 years have passed, so either the proposal fell through, or we were trolled by a PowerPoint. Now we're just weeks away from May the 4th, and you know what that means, Star Wars is back. This year we've learned Chewbacca, Death Troopers, and Rebel Leia are coming to the game, but there is a huge character that is totally missing. Emperor Palpatine is one of the main villains in every single trilogy, yet his only Fortnite appearance was through voice lines in the events. Each chapter we come to the 4th of May and leakers find some kind of file for him. Whether it's a codename for the outfit or a lightning mythic, the chances of him dropping always seem guaranteed, only for nothing to happen year after year. But what about the mythic? Well, that ended up just being a regular force power, which Epic didn't even release. I'm starting to think we will never see this guy on the island. Speaking of legendary abilities, for the past couple seasons we had to put up with the worst feature in Fortnite, combat caches. They suck. Nobody wanted to use these, especially when they replaced supply drops. Eventually Epic listened and got rid of them, but what if combat caches were useful? Turns out they were secretly working on a new version called a capture chest. This had a different design, and when you captured it, you would earn normal loot and a legendary augment. Yeah, perks were meant to stick around, and they would have been more powerful than ever, only for the entire thing to be cancelled for good. An even more controversial removal is how some of the most toxic dances in Fortnite are now banned. If you're tired of getting angry over Take the L or Laugh It Up, you could turn off confrontational emotes in the settings, which will hide obnoxious dances. Okay, it's just an optional thing, who cares? Well, actually, this has been enabled for everyone by default. That means it is very difficult to take the L on a noob ever again. But a feature no one got to try was meant to release a year ago. In early 2023, data miners realized Epic was about to change the storm forever. It would split into 2 circles in the middle of a game, creating double end zones, making things super interesting. Ironically, storm splitting was also community splitting, as players fought over whether this would be a good change or not. In the end, I guess the haters won, because Epic vaulted the idea. But what about the celebrity who refuses to be in Fortnite? Back in 2020, Epic accidentally added a skin into the game, and it was codenamed Dusty. This is where things get weird. Only the body was added, with the face completely missing. From the uniform, we could still tell who this was, a Tyler Rake from Extraction. Seemed like the outfit was in the works and ready to drop, all that was missing was the head, kinda the most important part considering it's Chris Hemsworth. But that also felt like the problem. He had never been in Fortnite, with Epic having to make generic Thor outfits, and now a Tyler Rake skin with no face. Either Netflix canceled the deal or Chris just straight up said no. Either way, this collab was scrapped and is still unfinished to this day. Sometimes there are crossovers that will blow up even when it never existed in the first place. In 2020, insiders claimed The Last of Us was coming to Fortnite. After the leak exploded, they were forced to spill as much info as they could. Uncharted was about to happen, and it seemed weird that we'd be getting 2 Nathan Drakes, but not Joel or Ellie. That's until leakers claimed The Last of Us would be arriving in September. This day lined up perfectly with the Part 1 remake and the HBO show being revealed, but this time around, it caught the eye of Neil Druckmann, the creator. He was more than ready to drop the bad news, love me some Fortnite, but there are no plans for this false rumor. ouch. We also got tricked into thinking there was another Marvel Battle Pass in the works. A couple years ago, fans noticed that every time we got to Season 4, it was always superhero themed. This started with Fortnite's original lineup before moving on to a complete Marvel collab. Rumors started that the same scenario would play out for Chapter 3, and it began making sense, especially with the Daily Bugle and several Marvel characters appearing before this. Then the 4chan post dropped, leaking the entire thing, with Sloan's return, hero remix of Fortnite, and Marvel characters like Ultron and Vision arriving. Obviously none of this happened, but it convinced a lot of people, and we did eventually see Sloan's return, and now we have a real Marvel season arriving later this year. Who knows, maybe they were just 2 years late. After almost half a decade, Chapter 5 finally added Peter Griffin, and while you might think you know everything about this story, you probably missed the forgotten POI. Leaks began circulating, showing the Family Guy house in the files. All we had was a mansion at Snooty Steps with some references, but people got so excited to see their iconic home. Maybe we'd even get a second wave with Lois and Stewie. Unfortunately, those dreams are shattered when everyone realized this was completely fake and just a joke made at UEFN. But honestly, it's crazy that Epic never added this as a real POI. Something so many people want to come true though is a One Piece collab. Last year, a large set was found under the codename Parrot, and anime fans immediately thought of one thing. They are pirates after all, so it makes sense, until it turned out to be random cosmetics for the summer event. It only got worse when One Piece tweeted out their own creative map only weeks before the show's release on Netflix. Unfortunately, it went nowhere, but that's when more rumors started this season when players spotted what they thought was Luffy and Artemis' sniper scope. Blue pants, red jacket, and teased in the distance, it had to be him, but it was just this guy. Epic knows how much we want to see this one in the game, so I am not giving up hope yet. The same goes for a strange feature during last year's Fortnite Mares. After the event ended, some players got a survey asking what they liked about it, and one of the things mentioned were zombie boards. Obviously, this was something we never saw, but there's always next year, I guess? And I can't say the same about a feature Fortnite has completely forgotten about. Augments were only added last chapter, giving us the chance to get random abilities. But with 2024, Epic removed them, deciding to rethink the system altogether. They even added brand new ones for Chapter 5, but it doesn't look like they'll ever be seen, unless Fortnite totally changes their minds. Those are 20 updates never coming to Fortnite. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.